Good morning. It's April the 13th, a gray day. Heading downtown again. Yeah, still trying to get a handle on where and how I walk. But anyway, it's April the 13th. It's a big day. I'm not wearing boots, so, that's a big step. Also said we might get some rain today, so we'll see. Also a big day because the Kickstarter ends today. This is the Kickstarter for Shapers of Worlds Volume 4, the fourth anthology featuring science fiction and fantasy by authors who were guests on my podcast, The World Shapers. It ends at midnight Eastern Daylight Time tonight, so we're about, 14 hours out, I guess? Is that right? 10 o'clock my time, so it'll be 12 hours at 10, and it's going on 9, so 13 hours, I guess. 13 hours left. It's at $14,714 last time I checked. It funded at $12,000. I was hoping to get to $17,000 so I could hire an artist to do some illustrations. I got to get closer than this, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. Oh well. The anthology itself is the most important thing, and that will go ahead. What I might do is see if I can afford a few illustrations, but not the entire book. So not every story would get an illustration. Of course, then I'd have to decide, but I'm the editor, I can do that. Which ones I wanted an illustration for. Decide where I want to go. I think I'll do the 2 coffee shop routine this morning. Got my microphone in a slightly different place. I hope it's working okay. There's what we've got of the sun. Not much. But at least it's not currently raining. And then I'll be focused on editing. There's an editing project I think I can probably finish today if I put my mind to it. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. Buckle down, do it. The snow is not attractive. These snowbanks from plowing, as now all the dirt is coming out of them. See, it's pretty patchy. I would think another week ought to do it. Maybe a bit longer. If it was like this, it would take much longer. If we get a few more days like we had Monday and Tuesday, we'd finish it off pretty quick. Pretty soon, enough snow will be gone. The streets will be dry enough I can get my car washed, which is in desperate need of, as are most cars this time of year. Sure way to make it snow or rain again, of course, but the weather gods are fickle. Or vindictive, actually, would be a better term. I go by the Unitarian Center there. And as usual, our path will be determined largely by how the lights work for me here at Albert Street. Wonder where there's a police car sitting there. It's running too. There's another one over there. Something's going on. I'm not going to make this cross. Are they just waiting for somebody to run the stop sign, or where they're sitting there? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not worried. So, definitely not crossing there. There's an ambulance too, but its lights aren't going. There's lights going over there. I wonder if there was an accident and they're still wrapping up. Well, no, that's a flatbed. I thought maybe it was a tow truck, but it doesn't have anything on it, so that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I just live here. I don't know what's going on. Old government telephone building. Powered by plants. Of course, all the most recent research seems to indicate that those plant-based things aren't particularly good for you. Stick to meat. Just eat a balanced diet. A wide variety of things. Petro-Canada, my personal advice. That was unsolicited, but all my advice is unsolicited. But it's fine. $1.60.2 per liter, that is. Oh, we will definitely cross this way then, because we just caught it right. So that being the case, I'll probably walk straight up this way for a little ways to vary the walk. Good place to jaywalk as always, because it's a one-way street. Yes, my first walk in runners. It makes my feet lighter. I'll get run over by the Sastel truck. That would be ironic, since my wife is a Sastel engineer. There's a show, a brilliant show called Slings and Arrows, which is set in a sort of fictionalized version of Stratford, and it's all about a theater company. It's several years old now. But we have the DVD. Well, we loaned them. We don't have those, but we watched it and enjoyed it. But in the early on, first episode, I think, there's a character, a very hammy director type, who gets killed because he's a ghost for the rest of the series, basically. And he gets run over by a ham truck, which is funny. That show is funny for anyone, but it's particularly hilarious if you've worked in the theater. And it has people in it I knew. One in particular that I was in a play with. It's one of the characters that shows up at one point. He was in Twelfth Night with me many years ago now. Many years ago now. At Globe Theatre. I've only done 2 Globe shows. One was on Golden Pond. I played the young boyfriend from California, so you can tell it was a while ago. 25 years ago. I think it was 98. So yeah, 25 years ago. And the other one was Twelfth Night, where I just played some small parts. And that's when this fellow was in there. And I auditioned last year for Globe and Persephone, but I had a callback for a play that's actually happening right now, or has just happened, but I didn't get it. I should check into auditions again. I am auditioning for Spamalot, which Summer Stage is doing. Auditioning for them next week. Not a lot in there for me at my age, I don't think, but who knows? King Arthur can be played by an older person. I don't look horrendously old. Not with makeup anyway. But yeah, I haven't done a proper show now in a long time, and I really miss it. So I really enjoy being on the stage. And a lot of it had to do with, of course, the pandemic, but in the last few years, before that, my daughter was much more into the theater and dance and stuff, and I was kind of more chauffeuring her around than thinking of it myself. I just read an article about a guy who started his acting career at 60, and now he's at some national theater. So, it's not too late. Talked to someone once at Stratford, said, there's always these smaller parts for older guys, and they're not necessarily easy to cast because they are small parts, and the big names, if you've had a long and illustrious career, you're playing big roles, you're not going to play those. He said, you audition for those, you could do, 10 minutes on stage, have the rest of your time free to do whatever you wanted in Stratford. I don't know if that's true, and I certainly haven't pursued it, but it's an interesting conversation. Because I live here, I don't live in Stratford, and one of the things about being a stage actor is you have to travel a lot, and you work short periods of time, and then you're out unemployed for long periods of time. So we're a little commercial area here. Tangerine is a coffee shop just behind us. This is where Sterling, somebody else I almost auditioned for, but then it didn't work out. They're doing cabaret coming up soon. I actually know the kid who's playing the MC, not a kid anymore. He was classmates of my daughter's, and they did shows together in high school. And we're on the improv team that won second in the Canadian Improv Games in 2018, I guess that was. That was very exciting. They should have won first. Of course, we could be biased, but he's an engineer, or an engineering student, but has that theatrical side to him. The MC is a big role, so we'll have to go see that for our daughter as much as for anyone else. Yeah, I was going to audition for Something Rotten with them, but looking at it, I decided I shouldn't. But next year, I'll see what they do next year. People have forgotten that I'm an actor. They know I'm a writer. There was a time when I was on stage year after year and this and that, but it's been a while. Last full show I did was 7 years ago now, I guess. The Addams Family. I played Lurch. I've been doing lots of singing and that sort of thing, but an actual show with lines and acting and stuff, it's been a while, and I miss it. And I should pick it up again while I still have the brain that can memorize lines. We are walking up Scarth Street. I think my brain can still memorize lines. I haven't noticed any deterioration. I still remember a lot of things. Trivial things still stick in my head from what I read, so I'm assuming I could still memorize lines. The longest, biggest thing I ever memorized was show called Billy Bishop Goes to War, which is a one-man show. So that was 2 hours of just me and the piano player, and he didn't say much. Played 17 different parts, including a couple of women. So I have performed in drag, but not as a drag performer, just as a comic thing. Played Queen Victoria once, which is hilarious because, of course, I'm about twice the size of Queen Victoria, so nobody was taking that seriously. And there's a ballet called La Female Gardée, the badly guarded daughter, where the mother is always played by a guy, and I played her. Didn't dance, but you had to have somebody big who can pick up the ballerina, prima ballerina, and now where am I going? I'm going up there, I guess. The mother's supposed to do a clog dance, but they didn't even try to teach me that. Mostly I remember all the concerned looks I got from small children backstage, because it was with the Class Act Studios. My daughter was not yet a student there, that's how long ago it was. And I was wearing this big green dress and apron and frilly bonnet, 6'2", 230 pounds or whatever I was at the time. These small children would look at me in kind of confused awe, or just move away from me. There's a picture of it online. I don't think I have a picture of me as Queen Victoria. There must be one somewhere, but picture of me as the mother and the female Gardée is on my website somewhere. Pretty sure. If you wanted to go look for it. Somebody said they wanted to see my face. Well, there you go. You can see me in a dress, too. The old apartment buildings. I mean, it's hardly the weirdest costume I've worn. There was, I was doing a children's opera called Ziggy the Time Traveler, I think it was called, or Zoggy, Ziggy Zoggy. And I was playing a donkey. So had this big donkey head and ears on, so maybe about 7 feet tall. And they did a picture of it on the front page of the entertainment section of the Saskatoon newspaper, because we were doing a performance or two in Saskatoon. And somebody I'd worked with at the Weyburn Review saw that. Hadn't been in touch with her for years, and got an email, said, what exactly are you doing now? Morning. Hello. No, I'm an opera singer now. Freelance writer and opera singer. I think I wore a chicken costume in another one. Can't quite remember, some sort of animal. Chanticleer, that one was, which is about a singing rooster. So it was some sort of animal costume. Okay, here's the coffee shop we're headed to. Thank you for walking with me this far and joining me on my little trip down theatrical memory lane. I will be back at some point this afternoon, walking home from somewhere, wherever I end up for lunch. I don't know if it'll be the hotel. I think it will be, but there are other options. Anyway, we will stop here. So at Fix, thank you for walking with me. Bye for now.